Ain't nobody doing it better than Lone Wolf. Appreciate you guys taking a look at the video. We just got done with our 2024 velvet hunt, and I ended up purchasing the Lone Wolf pocket arm razor for this whitetail season, obviously because it's really light. I think it's the lightest camera arm you can buy. But one of the things I worried about when buying this, and I guess probably anybody who's thinking about buying it, is just, is it going to do the job without shaking like crazy and all that stuff? And we just got out of the stand about an hour and a half ago, so I wanted to kind of give my take on it while everything was still fresh in my mind. And when I went to buy this, I kind of just took a swing and bought it because I know it's not going to be too bad, right? Because Lone Wolf is an incredible company, and everything I get from them is just, quality's never the problem. You know what I mean? Anybody who buys Lone Wolf stuff, you know, quality, they're not going to put something out that sucks. I mean, you know that. There are a couple of things that I don't like about it, but it's not really a deal breaker or anything like that. I just wanted to share this with other people so that they can have something to go off of when they're thinking about buying this. Let me get set up and let's attach this to the tree, and let me show you a couple things. So when you go to set this thing up, it's pretty simple. It's kind of hard to mess up. There's a little bubble here at the top. That bubble is how you can tell if you're level or not. And it is important because if you're not level, you know, if you extend all the way out, your camera arm's going to be kicked out. It's going to look weird. So it is important. All right. So anyway, so let's attach this thing to the tree. All right, now let me just show you something before we actually attach it. So I got it on the tree. I don't know if you'll be able to hear it because I have noise cancellation on these microphones. I'm telling you right now, it may not sound loud. This thing, I mean, it is loud, dude. So, I mean, even when I was trying to go slow, it's loud. What I was trying to do in the stand was hold it by this screw right here, because that screw bouncing around seems to be most of the noise, but it's still just this design here. And I guess a lot of camera arms have these, this is like a cheaper cam buckle. It's just super loud, man. Obviously you can get something else to attach this to the tree, but it's just something that, it's the first thing I noticed when I went to attach it to the tree. You know, when I got this thing, I didn't try to attach it to the tree. I got it the day before I went hunting, went out to the woods and threw it on the tree. So I had no idea, you know, and I don't know if I'm going to change it or not, but it's definitely worth noting. You can use one of those cam buckle style, you know, that goes around your saddle platforms or your lock-on stands, but those are just heavy, and I guess they're trying to just keep the weight down. Those are nowhere near as loud as this, the ones that I've used at least. All right, so the next thing I noticed, the way that these teeth are, it's barely got any teeth, and I think the regular pocket arms like this as well. I know that Guinness's 3D makes a two-prong type bat wing that goes on the back of it that allows it to really bite down in the tree to help support the camera arm. And like I said, I know Lone Wolf was trying to go for lightweight, and that's why they did this, and it does work. You really gotta know what you're doing when you go to put this on the tree for the first time. When you're high up, man, you don't want to be messing around with a $1,000 camera, and your camera, even though it may not fall all the way to the ground, it might not. You don't want your camera to fall down, you know, even if it doesn't hit the ground, because cameras are plastic, you know. And I'm telling you, if you do this right here, it will at least support it good enough to where you can use it and not have to worry about it. Basically what you want to do is, when you get this thing, when you go to attach this thing to the tree, that's another thing too. This thing is, I'm gonna have to put some WD-40 on it or something. You just heard it. It's like whistling. So anyway, when you go to put this thing on the tree, you want it to kind of be kicked up a little bit, okay? So say we're going to attach it. We just got up in our stand. We want this thing to be kicked up pretty good, because if you don't, bro, I'm telling you, if you don't, it is not going to stay. I mean, I had a couple of times where I almost lost my camera, man. I ain't gonna lie. All right, so now that we got it biting down pretty good, now we're going to extend the screw, and you want this screw to actually go into the tree. Like, it needs to be like a 1/4 inch into the tree. That's how tight it needs to be, at least for me. It makes me feel better, because when I went to grab something out of my backpack and this thing kicked out like it did, I about had a heart attack. I thought all my camera equipment was about to hit the ground. All right, so if you look at this, I actually got this thing in the tree. it's not perfect, but it's decent, right? I mean, it's good enough. That's good enough. Basically, look, I didn't have any of the screw. I had the screw completely backed out with nothing showing. And then once I got it completely set, there's an inch of the screw out. So that, if that tells you anything, basically start with the screw completely backed out. Now that I got that, you can hang on this joker. My Handycam and my Canon R50 mirrorless camera with everything attached to them are both right at 2.5 pounds. My Handycam's a little bit over that. This is the Panasonic V870. Now it's not, you know, it's not big by any means, but it ain't like tiny either, especially with this shotgun mic on there. I mean, the shotgun mic almost weighs as much as the camera itself. One of the biggest concerns I had with this initially is it gonna bounce all over the place? And I'll be honest with you, it bounces. But if I'm moving this, as you can see, if I stop, it's bouncing, okay? Definitely bouncing. I'll put some footage up of what I captured today of a couple of bucks, and then let me power this camera on and I'll show you the footage I get with this. And the stabilization on this camera right here is awful. This is made for zoom and recording wildlife and that kind of stuff. Some of the stuff I've learned, you know, obviously having a better camera arm, like a more sturdy camera arm, is going to be better in the long run. Like if you're in basically every situation but carrying it in and dealing with it, right? But it's a huge benefit to not have to worry about an extra 4 or 5 pounds going into the woods. So one thing I've learned is that, you know, yes, this thing's bouncing. I feel like any lightweight camera arm, like if you move it like this, see, it doesn't bounce as much because it's stacked up on top of each other. So that's another thing that I was noticing too, is that if you don't need the full extension, like if you're saddle hunting, you can basically get away with just moving the camera arm like this, and it's not going to bounce as much. But when you get it fully extended, it is going to bounce. But the key is like, say, see this turkey over here? Okay, say I'm about to shoot this turkey. Okay, I'm zoomed in. I'm gonna back up just a little bit in case that animal moves. Okay, now I'm set. I ease off of the camera. Okay, as I'm grabbing my bow, that thing is done. Okay, grab my bow, take my shot, come down. I got full control. So when you have full control and you got your hand on the bottom and you're actually guiding this thing around, it's perfect. Okay, you can't just one arm this one as it's fully extended. Just not going to happen. But if you want to use this without having to be so, you know, have 2 hands on it, as long as you're saddle hunting or something, you don't need it extended all the way out. You can just leave it folded up like this and get most of what you need with saddle hunting this way, you know. So that's just something you're going to have to deal with, just like when it comes to saddle hunting and climbers, like the crossover. There's trade-offs, you know, there's just no way around it. This is as good when it comes to lightweight, slim, portable camera arms. Ain't nobody doing it better than Lone Wolf. This is the best you can get. So if you don't like this, then lightweight and portable camera arms is not what you're looking for. You just need to go ahead and bite the bullet and get the heavier rated camera arm, and then you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. You can extend it, you know, maybe it has 5 arms on it. You can extend it all the way out, hang on it, you know. They got camera arms like that. This is just not that camera arm. As far as features, this is a bare bones camera arm. The only feature it really has is this backpack holder down here. Other than that, not a lot of features. It has a little bubble on top. Bare bones, man, not much to talk about. I just kind of wanted to go over the actual functionality, the way it holds the camera. This is on the heavier side. If you're using your phone, it's probably still going to do that, man. You know, I think just in general, it's going to do that. It'd probably do that even with the fluid hit. Okay, well, let's see. So if we extend it all the way out, yeah, I mean, it's just the camera arm in general. It doesn't matter what you put on. It's going to bounce unless you control it with it extended like that. it's just something you're gonna have to deal with. But aside from that, I'm glad that I purchased it. If I had to go back and make the decision again, I would still purchase it. I'm gonna be using it this year. All the footage you see going forward from me in a saddle, getting shots of deer and wildlife, is going to be from this, so you'll be able to see. Just wanted to kind of make a video, and maybe this helps somebody make their decision on whether they're going to buy this or not. You know, maybe you don't buy it now, I don't know, but it's a well-built camera arm, man, I can tell you that. It's got that same feel to it. Whatever paint job they put on all their stuff, this has got it. I love the way they finish all their equipment, man. They just do such a good job on the paint job is always amazing. But if you found this informative, or if this helped you make your decision on this purchase, please subscribe, like the video to help me with the analytics, click the bell notification, that'll let you know anytime I drop a video. As always, God bless. Until next time, thank you so much.